If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC, and here it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps, but it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by CB&S Bank. Bank anywhere, at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Saturday, Alabama men's basketball picked up a 102-97 win against 8th-ranked Kentucky. Here's the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Nate Oates.
Couldn't be more proud of a group of guys after the poor showing on Tuesday to kind of bounce back and play the way we did here today. I mean, this is a really good team we beat. They're a high-powered offensive team. They, we gave up too many threes there late, but up until we were, up, whatever, we were up there 9, I think, or whatever it was, 8 or 9 there at the end of the game. I thought we'd done a pretty good job outside of the one stretch where we'd given up the 5 in the first half. So
I'll have more in a moment.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show, presented by Alpha Insurance, live at Baumhauer's Victory Grill at 6 p.m. Central in Tuscaloosa. Hey Coach is available to listen to across our radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as a video stream on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by CB&S Bank. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. We're back. We're live. It's brand new. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond on a Monday morning. Sees it 13 degrees.
Is it cold?
Feels like 2.
It does.
Feels like 2. And you know what I felt? You know what I thought? You know what's the first thing that came to my mind when I got out of the car and started walking the 6 steps into the building here?
Right.
Was that this is cold-ass National Championship Monday.
Oh.
This was the anniversary of the 3 or 4 of us, I should say, you, Moulton, West Neighbors, and myself, making that 2-block walk.
Oh, my Lord.
From the Slippery Noodle to Lucas Oil Field.
We all ended up with COVID afterward.
And it was around this it was around this temperature
Oh,
for the Alabama-Georgia national championship game in Indianapolis, remember?
yeah, but what you're leaving out, this is why it was the most horrendous cold I've ever had in all my life, because I had 3 layers on. Three thick-ass layers. And we were on a stage. We were packed in there like sardines.
We were.
With Hunter Royer standing at the bottom of the stage. He kept going, there's a lot of dogs in here, Drew. There's a lot of dogs. And that's when I first heard the here it comes down the tracks, whatever the hell they say in red and black. I don't know. What they just kept, this idiot drunk kept singing it over and over. And so, but anyway, and we all ended up with COVID about a week later because we all ended up sick because we were packed in there like sardines in 2021. But what made it worse, like, it's not as bad today. Right. What made it worse that day is wind.
Yes,
the wind was horrendous.
The wind chill was putting it close to the negative range.
I mean,
it may have been in the negative range. I mean, we had to walk the 2 blocks to the national championship game. So those that were there in Indianapolis, I know several people that are listening were there in Indianapolis that day. Yes, it's going to be a little chilly tonight in Atlanta for the college football national championship game. Now, if you want the actual kickoff time, I've got it for you.
I got you.
It's 6:45.
Officially?
Is the actual kickoff time. Yes.
Central?
Yes, Central time. After they do all the pomp and circumstance and the introductions and the national anthem and everything else, and the coin toss and pay all the bills, it's going to be 6:45 will be the actual kickoff time tonight. And just a little nugget, it is the first national championship game between 2 schools in the same time zone for the college football playoff.
Oh, I know. I mean, Nicole Auerbach and them, they're going to just be they're going to be beside themselves. It's 2 Yankee schools playing.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
The last time Atlanta hosted, or not the last, the last time Atlanta hosted the college football national championship game, it was the 2 lowest seeds ever to meet in the college football playoffs. And that was 2018 when 4th seed Alabama knocked off 3rd seed Georgia. Anytime we can put that in on Moulton, it's great. 26-23 in overtime.
Yeah.
So tonight's game in Atlanta is the 2 lowest seeds ever to meet in the college football playoff national championship.
The 7th and the 8th, because it was seeded so great by that stupid committee. And yes, they're stupid. They're, we all know that Ward Manuel was moron of the year. So,
in case you are wondering, overall number 1 seeds, and we don't have any. They're 12 and they were 12 and 7 in the title games. Number 2s are 9 and 8. Number 3s are 5 and 10, and number 4s were 4 and 9.
Yeah.
So, and this is the first time a Big Ten school will play an independent in a national championship game. In 1987, both Miami and Penn State were independents.
And Penn State won the game.
And in 1966, your favorite year.
Yeah. Robbery. Highway robbery.
Notre Dame and Michigan State were co-national champions.
Yeah, they were, because Ara Parseghian was chicken dung and decided to play for a tie. Not bitter or anything, even though I wasn't even alive. Piss on the Irish. Let's go Bucks.
256-576-4977. You want to join the program.
Well, let's not forget, though. I mean, the Bucks and the Irish played a classic last year.
Yes.
In South Bend, and Ohio State escaped. Is that going to happen again? Is Notre Dame going to get them? I'm going to take Ohio State. I think they're the most talented team, but we'll see. I mean, Notre Dame, a lot of people are calling them a team of destiny, and waiting, I guess, for another choke job by Ryan Day. I called him Gray because half the time I guess you could say he's Gray Matter. But anyway, Ryan Day. But I still think Ohio State's the better team if Will Howard doesn't turn it over. And they can get Jeremiah Smith involved this time. I mean, he basically got shut down in the last game, so he didn't do squat. But again, I still think with Ibuka and Jeremiah and those guys that they've got, it's a very talented squad from Ohio State, the two backs. And Notre Dame's very good defensively, very good in the kicking game. Now, offensively, they're not super explosive. And I do think, and I think Ohio State's defense is not getting enough respect just because of how well Notre Dame's has played. But JT Tuimoloau, those guys, they've got a really good front. I like Ohio State. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I don't think it'll be a blowout like when we saw Georgia beat Wofford. In a game.
You don't think that's much? You don't think
basically you turn the channel
mismatch.
in that game by the start of the second quarter. It's like, if you hate Georgia and I don't like them, they won it, so it's over. Why am I watching this trash? So I was like, I'll tune back in every couple of maybe every
minutes or
every,
whatever, just to
maybe every
see.
10 minutes to see if they've scored again. Against
Put it on the Food Network.
or
and
something.
learn how
Yeah,
to cook
exactly.
something.
Yeah, beat Bobby Flay. Chopped something. Learn something about some food because this is manure over here. But I don't think it'll be that kind of game.
Right.
I mean, last I saw, I think last night Ohio State's an 8.5-point favorite. I don't know if I've got them covering or not. If I wanted to give an official prediction, I think the over/under is about 45. I would probably go maybe 28-20. Ohio State, but Notre Dame covering. And so and the Buckeyes getting it done, but I think it'll be a competitive game.
If you take all of the BCS National Championship games, the college football playoff title games so far, I think it totals up to 26. The winning team has led at halftime in 20 of those matchups and have trailed only 4 times, and only twice have we been tied at halftime. In 2008 and 2015 were the ties. The 4 times that they've trailed, 14, 16, 17, and 22. Those are the 4 times the eventual national champion has trailed at halftime in these games. But 20 of the 26 times, if you add the BCS and the college football title games, the winner has led at halftime. So just something to keep in mind when you're watching the game tonight. Let's go to Pat from Tuscaloosa real fast. Good morning, Pat.
Morning, Pat.
Hey, good morning, guys. I got something to add to the show today.
Sure.
Man, Coach Oates and the Alabama Crimson Tide had a historic run at Rump Arena. That you realize that's only the 5th time in history since the stadium opened in 1976 that a team has gone in and dropped over 100 on Big Blue.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see them doing a surrender cobra? It was a marvelous.
Yeah, the 3 from the top of the key with about a little over 3 minutes to go made it 90-81 by LeBaron Philon, and that was pretty much the dagger. Now, from that point forward, Alabama needed to protect the basketball and make free throws, and to Kentucky's credit, they made some tough shots to continue to apply pressure to Alabama, but Alabama had probably their best free throw shooting game of the year. They knocked down free throws just like Ole Miss did the game before to ice the Alabama game. They did the same thing in Rupp, and I had 2 scenarios. I had to make a pick. I picked 88-85 Kentucky, but what I said, if Alabama won the game, they were going to have to get 95 to 100 because I figured it was going to be that kind of game because Kentucky is a really good offensive team under Mark Pope. They're not a great defensive team, so I knew it would be a little bit easier for Alabama to get into their stuff and get whatever shots they wanted, but it comes down to making those shots. And to be honest, it shows how good Alabama is. I didn't think they played their A game. I thought they were B+. Because when you look at how they shot, they made 13 threes, but they only shot about, 44% overall from the floor. So they didn't shoot it, exceptionally well, but they shot it well enough. They didn't turn it over a lot, and they won the Battle of the Glass. That was the big thing. They did not win the glass decisively against Ole Miss, and they got hardly any offensive rebounds. Right. They won the offensive rebound battle against Kentucky, and they beat a really good Kentucky team. It's Mark Pope's first loss in Rupp, And, I thought it was well-deserved. I thought Alabama was the better team. I thought I could tell within the first 10 minutes Alabama was the better team if they took care of the basketball and kept making plays, and they did. And it'll be they'll have another hook up here in a few weeks, and Tuscaloosa will be epic. But it's two of the best offensive teams in college basketball, and I thought it was good for the SEC. And again, it was the second win in Rupp for Nate Oates, his first since 2021, or really, 2000 and the 2020 season, really. But Alabama won those two games in 2020, 2021. They swept Kentucky. It was the COVID season, the one that was played basically with COVID crowds. But Alabama won in Rupp, and then they won in Tuscaloosa, and they'll have a chance to sweep Kentucky for the second time under Nate Oates.
Yeah, but like you said, did he stop in at Woods and Water and pick up a keg of black powder and feed it straight to Grant Nelson? That he actually looked physical. He actually went up under the basket a couple of times and put a shoulder into somebody and then made the layup. I mean, where's that Grant Nelson been?
Well, he was good earlier in the season. Now, he had three games that had not been great coming into that, where he'd only averaged about 8 points per game. But again, I've seen him play at a high level earlier in the season. It just the team had kind of hit a lull, really, as a squad, not just Grant Nelson.
But that happens. That happens to good teams every now and then.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's not a team in the country.
Right.
Doesn't matter where you're ranked. There's not a team in the country that's going to have – they're not going to have – they will have a bad night. They will have an off night. They're not going to bring it every single night. Some teams are fortunate enough that they can overcome it and they can get a win.
Yeah.
Alabama against Ole Miss had a horrendous night. They weren't able to overcome everything to get the win, and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Grant Nelson, ever since he's been at Alabama, he's had those up and down games. He's had games where it looks like he is just shot out of a cannon. Mm-hmm. And then he's had games where he just totally disappears.
Yeah, and when he plays at a high level along with Sears had 24 and 9 assists. Sears played a really good 4 games. Sears didn't have a great shooting game, but he made big shots.
Right.
And he was money from the line. And that's a lot of times how he can even if he doesn't have a great shooting game, he can continue to score the ball because you foul him, he was back to the old Sears. I think he was 8 of 9 from the free throw line. So that's what you got to have. He's the closer. He's the guy that goes up there and knocks him down and ices the game.
All right, Pat, thanks for the phone call, bud.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
But you know what? And you look at Alabama under Nate Oates, and if you are playing Alabama, and if you want just a simple blueprint on how to beat Alabama, you try to win the offensive glass. You try to play harder than they do.
You run them off the 3-point line.
And you run them off the 3-point line.
Yeah.
I mean, that is – you look at some of the losses over the time since Nate Oates has arrived, and that's how you try to beat Alabama. Ole Miss was just more successful on that night because Alabama was not there.
And this Alabama team has been more effective attacking the rim and finishing, and Pat was just talking about how well Nelson finished in the game. The thing about it is that's another thing with the way Ole Miss defended Alabama. They ran Alabama off the 3-point line, and then Alabama could not finish around the rim. They couldn't finish against Ole Miss. We know Malik Dia, he was unbelievable. I think he had 19 rebounds. They just did not bring the physicality. They didn't play physical enough, and that's why they lost. And so, but like Nate Oates said after the game, he said, I told everybody, if you're not planning on winning the game, don't get back on the team playing because we're going over there to find a way.
We'll hear from Nate Oates after the break here. Let's get a break in, our first one of the morning. When we come back, we'll stay out on the phone lines and hear from Nate Oates and check in on the rest of the SEC's weekend in hoops. Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
That wreck at Governor's in Montesano was our last reported accident. It should be out of the way pretty quick. Everything else from earlier has been cleared. You be careful as you make the last of your trip in this morning. Snelling needs an AP accountant with cost point experience. It's a 6-month temp position. Snelling, how the area's top companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I screw up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, Bob. Tell your fortune.
Log on today. 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN, The Zone.
We've got a lot of SEC basketball to recap from over the weekend, but before we get into all of that, let's hear from Nate Oates after the win for the Tide on Saturday in Lexington.
You know, I told them we're going in there. I told them that after the game Tuesday, after Ole Miss, I told them that when we met Thursday, like we are going in there and we are getting a win by any means necessary. If you're not planning on getting a win, just pack your bag because you ain't coming back on that plane. So we came in, I think, with the right mindset, and guys made sure we got a win. I mean, whatever it took, like. We screwed up some defensive assignments, keep playing, make some tough shots on offense, get to the free throw line, get some more boards. You know, Kentucky was, I mean, they had 13 boards. They actually outscored us on second chance points. I thought, you know, they had some toughness to them that in some games I hadn't seen, but it's there when, you know, when they needed it. We were just a little bit tougher, made a few more, you know, got a few more threes off. Made a few more, but they're a good team. They're gonna win a lot of games this year.
Agreed.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Jeff from the Borough with us. Good morning, Jeff. Can't hear you, buddy.
You there, Jeff? You there? You're on mute. Hello.
We got you,
What's
Jeff?
up, Jeff? We got you.
What's going? what's going on?
There we go.
Hey, what's going on? There you go. There you go.
I just want to say I thought Alabama played a good game Saturday, beat us. And Kentucky made a couple plays try to get back in. They just couldn't make enough. And like I said, you can't let them stand out there and shoot. And, you know, when they outscore you 13 on the foul line, it's not going to be a good day. And you know, really, Kentucky ought to be 2 and 3 in the league right now because if Florida makes free throws, they beat Kentucky that day. But of course, fortunately, they didn't do it. But how about Tennessee's weekend, guys? The free throw goes clankety clank, and then the ladies couldn't box out, and Vanderbilt women win. How about Rick Barnes? Comments?
Yeah, two excruciating losses for the Vols. No question about
the
that.
one there he's mentioning, Vanderbilt knocks off Tennessee 76-75 on Saturday.
Yep.
Handing the Vols their
Now,
second
Vandy
SEC
tried to give it
loss.
away. I watched the last couple minutes.
But the free throw went clankety clank.
Yeah, they did.
It went clankety clank. And baby, I don't feel sorry. Rick Barnes, I thought Rick Barnes was a good coach, but I don't know. But I do want to say I heard Nate Oates' comments about refereeing Kentucky. Of course, we all know that Kentucky does care about basketball. We're all aware of that, so we all know that that's the case, and it'll always be the case in the SEC. But they're 3 and 2, so I don't know who they play this week. I know the women's standings at LSU, South Carolina, Kentucky's all unbeaten. They got no losses, and Kentucky plays A&M.
Kentucky has Vanderbilt, then Tennessee.
Well,
both on the road.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can go and sweep them. I guess it'd be nice to get a sweep on the road because it's been that way at times when Tennessee's been favored in Knoxville and they've won. Calipari won a lot in there, but
just don't want it to go clankety clank on the road.
Yeah, that's right. We know you can't do that, but
can't have it go clankety clank, can you?
But you can't get outscored 13 at home either though, and you can't have 46 fouls in a 40-minute ball game. Why don't you comment on that, Scott? 46 fouls. Any comments? In a 40-minute ball game. 25 Kentucky, 21 Alabama. I guess the referees after the game went and traded their
whistle. Wait a minute, you're talking about
You're saying Kentucky don't get any calls.
Yeah, you're saying Kentucky don't get any calls at home.
Well, let's see. Alabama outscored them 13 to foul line.
I think over the years Kentucky's gotten a lot of calls at home.
A few.
I think they've gotten a few at home inside Rupp Arena.
Also, and for Pat, I think it's the first time somebody scored 100 on us in Rupp Arena. Might be Alabama's, but it ain't the first time.
Well, no, he said it's 5 times, basically. I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
That hadn't happened much.
The other teams scored 100 on them, so and stuff like that. But so they gonna win and lose in there. Like I said, it's a hallowed hall. People want to come watch games in there. It's a bucket list for people. They want to watch games. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't want to watch games in that dumb Coleman Coliseum. So
there was a lot of Kentucky fans leaving, Jeff. Ton of them leaving. Because Alabama owns that ash right now. Nate Oates is 500 against the Big Blue Nation. Hopefully he's about to have a winning record when you come get your ass beat in 2 weeks. So we'll see. I told you Alabama was coming for you, Jeff. I tried to be nice to you. You're going to sit there until the very end and throw a little salvo. Alabama owns that ass right now. Call back again, you yellow-livered coward. Alabama owns Kentucky's ass in everything.
In the other SEC matchups over the weekend.
Poor Mark Pope. Supposed to be some great coach, which he is. He's not better than Nate Oates. You swung and missed on Nate Oates. Sorry, bud. And he's going to kick your ass every year now. Yeah, I said it. I called my shot, and they won the game. So where are you at? You're going to need that week off before you play Vanderbilt to lick your wounds after all those Big Blue Nation people were leaving with 2 minutes to go because they knew that ass was whooped. See you later, pal.
All right, top-ranked Auburn goes on the road, takes on Mark White, 23rd ranked Georgia, gets off to a fast start to the Tigers. You knew Georgia would respond. They did, tighten the belts up a little bit. Auburn fortunate enough to come out of Stegman with a 70-68 win. They are now 2-0 without Janai Broom. Obviously, that they're going to need him because it's going to get tougher to win without him as the schedule is going to get a little bit more bumpier. But they were fortunate enough to hang on and get a win on the road.
I think they'll have him back now that they get this, like Kentucky and Auburn. They both get the week off. And Mark Pope said, I watched his press conference, class act. I think he is a really good coach. I think he's a great fit for Kentucky in all seriousness. He said it comes at a good time for them because they're banged up.
Yes.
And so they're
Auburn
a little
has
bit.
Tennessee Saturday.
And then Auburn, they don't play during the week. Jonai was on the bench. I mean, I think he was even dressed in his jersey, but he did not play. We didn't expect him to.
Right.
So I said when he got the ankle injury that it would probably be 2 weeks. So roughly when they play Saturday against Tennessee with game day there, it'll be about 2 weeks. So I think Jonai will probably be back. I don't know. He might be under a minutes restriction. They may not, play him the usual heavy minutes that he was getting. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was back. And, again, that's going to be a really tough game. I mean, Jeff did say some things about Tennessee. And Tennessee's hit a rough patch in their schedule. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think Tennessee's still really good. I actually thought that Vandy was going to choke that game away because with about a little under 3 minutes, I think Vandy was up by 10. It looked like it was over, but Tennessee made a bunch of plays and were very, Vanderbilt was, and they give Vanderbilt credit. They've done a great job. I think them and Missouri have been maybe two of the biggest surprises in the league. And Alabama better be ready too. Now look here. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, Alabama got that huge win against Kentucky. Very tough to win in Rupp Arena. Everybody knows. And then I just can't believe Jeff had the gall to say Kentucky doesn't get any calls at Rupp.
The best.
Give me a break. What reefer are you smoking, Jeff? I mean, everybody knows that Kentucky gets 90% of the calls in Rupp Arena. You want to know why Alabama got some calls? Because Alabama's better than Kentucky right now. Now, we'll see how much Kentucky improves. But with Rupp Arena most of the time, you ain't getting many calls, brother. No. I'm sorry, you're just not. And so, but Alabama played well. They outplayed Kentucky. They proved right now that they're the better team. We'll see if they can continue that. It'll certainly be a high-level rematch in Coleman Coliseum, and it's very tough to sweep Kentucky. We know how good Kentucky is. And I've said Kentucky was good all year. You can't sit there and say that I didn't. But I'm not going to sit here and hear you disrespect Alabama when Alabama owns that ass right now. I'm sorry. That's just the bottom line. They're better than Kentucky. We'll see if they continue to be. And Kentucky's a good team. Mark Pope's done a great job. I like Mark Pope. And certainly your boy Cal sucks. They're over. They can't win a game. They're the most disappointing team in the league. I like Cal. He's done a lot for college basketball. But you got to tell the truth right now. They stink.
All right. Before we talk about Cal a little bit further, the friend of our program, Cheney Johnson, had a game-high 35 minutes on Saturday.
Yeah, since Joe and I went out, he's got to play heavy minutes.
Did not have a great shooting day.
1 for 9.
But I did text him that, and I was like, 1 for 9, brother. Come on. But
he played outstanding though against Mississippi State.
High 35 minutes, yes, and he has played very well. But we're happy to see him. He only had 2 points on the day. 3 fouls.
Well, I mean, it was basically the Tahad Pettiford and Miles Kelly show. I mean, because most of Auburn's starters struggled. I mean, this was a struggle bus offensively. They did not play great. Dylan Cardwell did not score the ball well. I mean, when you look at their starting lineup, Denver Jones had 8. He was solid, but they didn't have. I mean, Tahad Pettiford, 24 points, Scott, in 22 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he's outstanding.
All right, you mentioned John. You mentioned Calipari, right?
Yeah.
And they
0-5.
They are. He is now 0-5. There, and I believe you have to go all the way back to his days at UMass
when he took over and they were awful.
At UMass,
right? Before
he's been this dreadful,
right?
In conference play, and indeed it was.
Are they going to get the 2 this week? Because they've got 2 games, at home.
My thing is this
against Georgia and Arkansas? Georgia and and Oklahoma.
It's not complete. The train's not completely off the rails yet. It's hanging on by a thread.
Well,
So my question is, if this train completely falls off the rails, and I mean it just. But Vanderbilt-esque last year in basketball. I mean, it's just horrendously bad.
Well, that last year the worst was Missouri. They went 0-18.
Okay, so if they are Missouri bad.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean they've got Georgia, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not very good right now as well.
Well, I think Georgia's improved, but both of these games are at Arkansas. Right. So you would think they would have a decent shot at both of them.
Kentucky, Texas, Alabama, LSU, A&M, Auburn, Missouri, Texas, South Carolina, Vandy State. That's what's on the horizon. If this goes really bad, Is this a 1-year
No,
deal
I
for
can't.
John Calipari?
First of all, I don't expect him to go like 0-18. Okay,
I didn't expect him to go 0-5.
Well, no, but I don't expect it to come off the rails like it did for Missouri so badly. Or you remember a few years ago in Nate Oates, I believe, third season,
Right.
Alabama made the tournament, but they were very like this.
Yes.
And remember, Georgia went 0-18 would have gone 0-18. Let me correct it, but 1-17 because they beat Alabama. They came back and beat Alabama in Stegman. It was Alabama's basically the low point of the season. The Tide couldn't finish the game against Georgia, and that team didn't have the right chemistry. There was just something wrong. They couldn't ever get things going, and they backed into the NCAA tournament. They lost to Notre Dame in the first round. And I think that Alabama team, amazingly, because of their strength of schedule, was still a 6 seed, but they lost to 11 seed Notre Dame. And we remember what happened in the beginning of the game. JQ tore his ACL, and once he did it, it was just like, Alabama's, J.D. Davidson was struggling. He was still trying to develop as a point guard. Just didn't happen. And so, but again, I just don't see that happening, though, to Arkansas. I think they're going to be under 5. I don't see them having a winning record in the league.
They have one win against a ranked opponent.
Michigan.
A 2-point win against the Wolverines. Everything else has been kind of like...
Now, I will say this. If they can get these 2 wins, this week,
right,
that will show some signs of life. And I still think they've got a chance to make a late run to get on the tournament bubble. Now, I'm not saying they're going to make it. Now, if they
what do they have to get to in league play?
I would say
that bubble?
7-11 probably.
That means they're going to have to go 7-6.
Yeah,
they're going to have to go.
They'd have to be about 500 in the league going forward. So, to have a chance. Now, I just said chance. I'm not even sure they'd make it then, but I think
you would think if they do that, they would have to pick up 2 or 3 wins in the conference tournament.
And Calipari is a proud guy, and he's not one of these guys that's going to step away because of the NIL. My God, he's been recruiting with NIL since before NIL. Everybody knows that.
He's got Tyson in his corner down there.
Yeah, he does. Now, he would need to make staff changes. He would need to change up what he's doing offensively. He's got to, and then maybe get a couple of tacticians on his staff that are good X's and O coaches. You'd have to change some things, and I would think he would be given the leeway to do that. I mean, he's still a Hall of Fame coach.
That's what hindered him at Kentucky, though.
At the end, yes. At the end, he's going to have to. Maybe this is the final straw where he would take a long look at what he's doing. But I don't think it's going to be a one and done at Arkansas. I would be surprised at that. And you just mentioned it. There's a lot of people in his corner. Now,
got a lot of money right now in his
the problem, though, is if they do go 7-6 and get in the tournament, then he may think, well, I just had a young team that matured. We got into the tournament. We're going to be better next year. But the issue is, right now, the formula he's using is the same that he had at Kentucky for the most part. A couple of teams at Kentucky had some transfers and had some older guys on it, but he still builds through recruiting, and a lot of it is the one-and-dones that come in and they're there for 6 months and then they're gone. So that's what's going to be fascinating is, A, how does this team respond? Do they finally snap out of it? And then, B, depending on how the season turns out, what is John Calipari's reaction? What does he do? Because a lot of people think he's got a lot of yes men on his staff, that some guys that were key members when he was really good at Kentucky aren't there anymore. Is he going to make some needed changes? Because he's done a lot for the game, man. But, I mean, again, I will say this as far as Big Blue Nation, and it was obvious Saturday, it was obvious after the game, even though they didn't win. They're 110% behind Mark Pope. They love Mark Pope. And they don't miss John Calipari. I think they're grateful for what he did to recharge Kentucky basketball, but they're glad he's not there.
All right, let's get a break in. 256-576-4977. More college football, more college basketball, and some NFL conversations on the horizons. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A cold Monday night ahead of us. Low temperatures will be falling into the lower teens for the overnight. We could see a few snow flurries after midnight as well. No accumulation expected. Wind chill values are expected to fall into the single digits, though. Heading into our Tuesday, we'll keep snow flurries in the forecast. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunshine. High temperatures warming into the low 30s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Still working with a clean slate this morning. Traffic in good shape. I don't see any major snags for you. Traffic level definitely lighter than normal. You be careful on that trip in. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including the college football playoff and national championship game. The electricity, the atmosphere. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the college football playoff national championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect!
Monday. Let's visit the phone lines real fast. Let's go out there. Bryce is with us this morning. Good morning, Bryce.
What's up, Bryce?
Hey, guys, I can't believe that Jeff the Whiner called in after getting that pass handed to him yesterday.
Well, we got to give him credit.
We got to give him credit for calling in. I didn't think he would, but he did. And then I thought it was a decent phone call to the end, and he's got to start crying about the officiating and then calling Coleman Coliseum a dump. And it's not a cathedral like Rupp, but it's a historic arena. And again, don't disrespect Alabama, who's the better team. The better team.
Well, I was listening to the game. I didn't get to watch it because I was working. But if I recall, wasn't it like 17-3 to fouls at half against Alabama?
Well, I mean,
and I think at second half they tried to even it out what they were doing.
Well, and Alabama did have a Kentucky in the bonus by the 11-minute mark, so they did get some calls in the second half, but then the officials started evening it out. I mean, they called every little touch foul.
I'll say this: so being around UAH enough.
Yeah.
Coaches will sit there in the huddles, and they will say, hey, look, the fouls right now are a little bit out of whack. Just be prepared because this is going to even out a little bit.
Yeah.
They are going to make calls. I mean, this is something that gets addressed in timeouts.
Yeah.
The coaches know it. Players know it. It's going to happen. The officials even things out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought happened second half because and I guess he's not smart enough to realize that. But he got a lot to work with. We know who we're talking about. Anyway, I thought if Alabama plays like that, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, they are. They're a good team,
real
Bryce.
good. Nelson.
They have the capability to be a really good team.
When's Reed coming back? Do y'all know?
I think we'll see. He missed the last 2 games with his ankle. I'm hoping that he'll be back Tuesday against Vanderbilt, but if not, I would think very good chance that he'd be back Saturday against LSU.
Well, good. We need to go on. We need to take care of business Tuesday night because if we feel like we played against Ole Miss, get us.
That's what I said. I mean, Vanderbilt's dangerous. They have to have their minds right and bounce back from a great win to start stacking some.
All right, well, guys, I appreciate y'all letting me talk. But who y'all for tonight?
I'm picking the Buckeyes 28-20, but
I'm gonna have to go Ohio State as much.
Yeah.
I mean, because I am Big Ten. I mean, that's
the reason
that's
why
in the
I can't
blood.
go Ohio State. The reason why I can't go Ohio State. Urban Myers, we'll never hear the end of it. The one that got that saving run out of Florida.
Well, he also coached at Notre Dame for Lou the Pecker. So.
Yeah, well.
He and Ryan Day aren't talking to
I like
each
to
other.
talk to quarterbacks from Alabama. That's why I'm going for Notre Dame. And that coach from Notre Dame seems like a real class act.
Oh, yeah. Freeman's a good dude, man. He's done a great job.
He seems like a real class act. And I just can't root for the Suckeyes. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, that's be the first time I ever rooted for Notre Dame. But like I said, the quarterbacks from Alabama, everything always goes through Alabama, guys.
Yes, sir.
It does.
Thank you, Bryce.
Oh, and they are playing at Bryant-Denny North in Atlanta at our stadium. Georgia built for us.
Yes, sir.
So I'd like to see Notre Dame win it because we'll never hear the end of it. And that way they paid all that money to buy that team Ohio State did, and I'd like to see it be all for naught since them players that they got were from the SEC, and that's why they got better talent. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all letting me talk. Y'all have a good day.
All right, Bryce. All right, I tell you what, let's get a break in here. When we come back, more Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Still working with a clean slate this morning. Traffic in good shape. I don't see any major snags for you. Traffic level definitely lighter than normal. You be careful on that trip in. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan? The right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, DeArmond with you. And I tell you what, if you're in the mood or if you're in the business, you need a new home, Talking Ball now has a new hookup for you. And what do we got? So there we go. Unplug it, reset it, and we had this show and phones.
Yeah, the
This
phones,
show
brother.
and phones.
They're a little bit different.
It does not always want to work, and I can probably, let's see here if we can do this on the fly.
He's going to be calling it over here and see if we can get it on. I don't know why it wasn't working, but we'll get it.
Okay, you got it or no?
Not yet. He's going to call into us.
All right, hold on, John. I'm coming.
What's that contraption you got over there? What are you doing?
Oh, crap. Apple changed I got the new damn phone.
You got the new phone, Scott. You're screwed.
I can't do it anymore.
They finally changed the plug, man.
Apple said
you got to get an adapter. Is what you got to get.
I got to get something completely different. See, I used to be able just to take over and do everything from here. I could plug into my phone. I could call somebody. I could plug
We've done that
into the board.
many times. Plug right into the board.
Can't even do
You
that.
got to get an adapter now, Scott. You got to pay for an adapter.
I got to go out and spend money because of Apple.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get an adapter. I got too many damn cords, man. I can't give up these cords.
Well, this sucks.
Is Richard still on the phone? We could talk to Richard real fast.
I don't even know. What do we have? Do we have John? No? Yes? I can't hear you. I can't.
Yeah.
Scott, can you hear me?
Okay.
All right. Hey.
Yay.
I feel like there's something about monkeys and a football right now.
Yeah, we're really we act like we know what we're doing.
Yeah. Live radio. Just have fun.
John Kendall, Vice President of Mortgage from the Bank of Frank Ewing, joining us. And boy, I tell you what, John, you know what? It is, 13 degrees outside?
Yep.
Still hot enough to buy a house, though, right?
Yeah, it's always the right time to buy a house. I'm reminded of the statement. Today's MLK Jr. Day, and I'm reminded of something that he said to us. It's always the right time to do the right thing. Well, the right time to do the right thing for your family is to buy a house right now.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a great time to buy one, and I know you guys are hiring as well, John.
Oh, absolutely. You know, in the world of the NIL and all the recruiting that's going on now, I kind of feel like that, except I don't have the money bags that maybe Calipari has with Tyson. But we are looking. We're always looking for talent. If you like to sell, if you're looking for a new career, we would love to talk to you and see about get. I think, Drew, it's the best kept secret in America as far as a career goes. No education required. No license required. If you can sell, you can sell. We can train you on how to do mortgages, and there are a lot of people in our area making a lot of money doing home loans.
Now, the best part is I know we're coming out of the holidays. A lot of people are still trying to recover from Christmas. Maybe you overextended a little bit. Maybe you spent too much. Maybe you had to dip in to some of that money you were hoping to put down on a house for Christmas and stuff or for whatever. You guys have a deal right now where you will just give somebody $25,000 or $20,000 to get a house.
That's right, Scott. We're really excited about this. We had this opportunity for the last 2 years, and we were able to help a whole lot of homeowners last year. We have a grant that's coming available March 1st. It's $25,000 if you're a veteran. If you're not a veteran, it's $20,000. Now, look, if you got money, if you got deep pockets, plenty of money, you're probably not going to qualify for this. But if you're a first-time home buyer needing a little bit of help, you can take this $20,000, use it for down payment. You can use it for your closing costs. And, you know, one of the problems we have is we get people approved to buy homes, but they may be approved for, you know, low $100,000 range. Well, in Madison County, you can't find a home at that price range. Well, now you have $20,000 you can put down, so it allows you to get a little bit more buying power.
Well, that's outstanding, John. No doubt about it. And another thing that's outstanding is in your former career, you were a coach, so you love basketball, you love high school athletics, and you guys have stepped forward. This is a unique opportunity that Scott and Steve are gonna have tomorrow. You know, we pray that the weather, we can't control it, but we certainly hope everything holds so we can see these two young ladies, these two squads. We're going to have hopefully Tim Miller and Ricky Austin on tomorrow, but you guys are the presenting sponsor for a rarity. Two of the greatest coaches in state history over at Spring Garden that are going to go head up and compete tomorrow.
That's right. Our bank joins the property of Hazel Green High School. We're fortunate there at Hazel Green to have Tim Miller as the girls' basketball coach. Coach Miller's done an outstanding job, obviously. I mean, win 7 state championships in a row. I was fortunate enough to be on a program to win one. To win 7 in a row is just crazy. We're really excited about the opportunity for him to go down, take the team down to Spring Garden. I was telling Scott the other day, it's kind of like reverse Hoosiers. I get chill bumps when I watch the movie Hoosiers, watching the Hickory boys jump on the old red bus and driving across the frozen landscape, going to a basketball game into Indianapolis to play the larger schools. The larger school here is going to Spring Garden to play, and I've heard a lot of great things about that program down there, and just I think it's an awesome opportunity for the girls. I think it's an awesome opportunity for Spring Garden, and I am excited that we get to not host it, but sponsor it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and John, if you're driving around this morning, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you at the Bank of Frank Ewing to find that new home.
Yeah, give us a call at 256-507-9180. That's 507-9180. That will ring directly to me, most likely, and then I will get you in touch with one of our mortgage professionals, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything to figure it out, and we'll put you on a path to hopefully get that money. The money is limited. When it's gone, it's gone, and but we have enough to help probably 25 to 30 families in our area, but you need to get in line early. You can also get us on the web at Bank of Frank Ewing. That's like the name Frank Ewing, even though there's no one by that name, but it's frankewing.com.
Who wins tonight, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
You know what? You're kind of crazy if you don't say Ohio State, but it feels to me a lot like the Florida-Ohio State game. I guess it was 2007, and Teddy Ginn Jr. takes the opening kickoff to the house. And I remember watching that game with a former UAH basketball player. I was at Barkley's house, and Dalton Barkley was a teenage kid at the time, and he was telling me how bad Ohio State was going to beat Florida. And Teddy Ginn Jr. took it to the house, and I was like, just hold on. They still have to compete against an SEC team for an extended period of time. Now, Notre Dame's not a SEC team by any stretch of the imagination, but they're built kind of the same way. You know, they play good defense. Riley Leonard's a winner. If they don't turn the ball over, they don't get dumb penalties. I think Notre Dame can keep it close, but there's definitely a talent gap.
John
stuff.
Kendall, Bank of Frank Ewing. John, we'll talk to you again on Wednesday.
Yeah, appreciate your sponsorship of this great, Spring Garden Hazel Green showdown.
Sounds great, guys. Thanks for having me on. I hope you have a great day, and enjoy your time off this afternoon, and look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Thanks, John. Let's get Richard in real fast before the hour.
Hey, Richard, thanks for holding.
Nope.
Is Richard gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay. Sorry about that.
We thought Richard might be hanging.
Yeah, anyway. Well, we've made it through hour number 1.
Yeah.
up and down there with the phone lines. I am really disappointed that the connection to my phone does not work now because that was our fail-safe.
Yeah, you just got to get an adapter. You know they make one for $25. Just go buy one.
I just got to find now. That.
You go to a Verizon place, you tell them you need an adapter because you got 6,520 cords like everybody else with the damn plug from the last decade.
That hit me hard this morning.
Hell, I bought my new car. They gave me a bunch of cords. I'm using the damn cords. If I get a new phone, which I'm fixing to, there got to be a damn adapter.
Which phone are you gonna go with?
Whatever the one is. What is it? The 16?
Plus?
Is that what you got?
I got the Plus.
You
Apparently,
did?
'cause it's a little bit bigger.
Oh,
Whatever,
okay.
I was told.
Whatever.
I
got to trade it in. This is an 8, for God's sake. I went backwards.
You got an 8?
Yeah, I had to use this case that I bought for $60 that I wasn't going to just friggin' throw away.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I went from an X Max to an 8.
We got to get a break in. It's the hour break. Jake Crain's going to break it down, the national championship game in Atlanta. Jake Crain will do it next.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Tonight is the night. Tonight we will crown a college football national champion. It's either going to be Ohio State out of the Big Ten or Notre Dame, the last remaining, I believe they are, the last remaining independent in college football. If Notre Dame wins tonight, it'll join Clemson, Georgia, LSU, and Michigan as modern-day 15-win teams. If Ohio State wins, it'll join the 14-win club for the 3rd time.
Yeah, so there could be some history tonight. I hope it's on the Buckeyes side, but we'll see. Certainly Notre Dame's played outstanding football, especially complimentary football. They're not, a flashy team, but they're a really, really good football team. There's no doubt about it. And it's been since we gave Jake Crain the week off last week for good reason, because his life has changed forever in the most positive way. He is now a father, a girl dad, and we really want to congratulate him for that first and foremost, for he and his wife Reed and their family that they have built. Jake, I hope you've been getting some sleep, brother, but we appreciate you for coming back on. And how you doing, bud?
Oh man, I appreciate it. It's I'm doing fantastic. Anybody out there that has kids is going to understand what I'm about to say. I mean, it's the greatest thing in the world. And she's, both, my wife and our daughter are happy and healthy. And really, I've been sleeping pretty good. It's not really her keeping us up. I mean, she's got to eat every 3 hours, but it's me, like, every 40 minutes. I got to, like, check on her, like, just to, even when nothing's going on, like, just to see if she's breathing. It's just, I don't know, man. There's no way to describe it. It's just the coolest thing ever. Never done anything that has meant as much to me as this.
Now, do you have the little camera in the room too? And you just constantly
Man,
keep
we
checking it all the
we
time?
got everything. I mean, you would think we got the guy from the Blacklist kidnapped.
I only imagine that, Jake.
I know.
But national championship game tonight. What is Crain and Company got planned for the viewing?
Man, we're actually not doing the live show at 2:00 today because we're going to live stream the whole game tonight from Mission Cigar and Social. And, you know, we've live streamed the semifinal games and the first college football playoff game, and it's a ton of fun, man. We, basically, we watch it while you watch it. We're not legally allowed to show it on our channel, but you turn down the volume and we kind of sync up, where everybody's at and commentate it and break it down in a way that, I think a lot of people enjoy. The numbers are really good on it, and we do a lot of betting and things like that. So going to be doing that tonight, man. I'm hoping it's going to be a good game. I'm still feeling about 27-17 Ohio State, but does this not feel like, and we can talk about maybe because there's not a team from the SEC in there though, or maybe because it's like so long into this, there's just maybe it's inauguration day, maybe that's it, but it just doesn't feel very hyped.
It doesn't in a way. No. I mean, and I think especially here in this part of the country and where you're based out of Nashville, there's no SEC hype with it, no excitement. It's an unusual deal where you've got two traditional powers playing. Notre Dame hasn't won anything in a long time, but Ohio State, it's been about 11 years since they won one, a decade or so, a little bit over a decade. But it's just one of those things where I think it's if we were in Bill Bender land, and Bill's a great friend of ours in Ohio, it's a huge deal for them over there. But in the Southeast, I would agree with you. It's really just kind of ho-hum.
There's not that polarizing figure. I mean, Ryan Days is about as polarizing as you can get, but there's not that big draw to this game.
Not in this part of the country.
Yeah, well, that's why I think you saw the numbers for the semifinals kind of down. And
right.
Look, I know Texas is in the South, but they're not in the Southeast. I said on the show, not having an SEC team or a team from the Southeast in the semifinal in the college football national championship game, it's like having a buffet but not letting fat people in. Like, you're just not going to get as many customers, and they're not going to stay there as long and eat as much. It's just the truth. So, to Scott's point, I think he's right. One of the biggest viewership pulls on this is everybody wants to hate watch Ryan Day. I mean, at this point, no outside fans like Ryan Day. Most Ohio State fans don't like Ryan Day. I'm starting to wonder now if his parents even like him. So, like, it just maybe that's the biggest thing. I mean, who'd have thought people hate Ryan Day so much they want to cheer for Notre Dame? Think about that for a second.
Dang. Well, and as far as the viewership goes, you're right, because Birmingham controls the college football market. They're the biggest draw each and every Saturday, and if there's no draw for them in the SEC to watch, they're not going to watch.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, you don't have to be Goodwill Hunting to figure that math problem out. It's a pretty simple one. I mean, just look at the numbers the ReliaQuest Bowl did with Alabama and Michigan. They did 6.5 million views. Guys, the semifinals got like 11. It just is what it's. That's why the slogan is "It just means more." I think people get confused that it just means more means the teams are always better. Well, most of the time, yeah, but that's not what it means. It's the passion. It's the fanaticism. It's the lunacy towards your team, or just watching a team you don't like, which for most people that's pretty much every other team in the SEC, and rooting on their downfall. So. I think it's pretty obvious, and I think it's going to turn its head tonight.
So if Notre Dame is able to, I don't want to say shock the college football world, but if they're able to find a way to get a win tonight, how does Notre Dame find a way to become that national champion tonight?
Well, to me, you got two options, and we saw this in the NFL playoffs, especially yesterday. You need Ohio State to turn the ball over. I think Notre Dame's biggest strength is they play pretty clean. You know, Bill Belichick said you can't learn how to win until you learn how not to lose. And Notre Dame, it's not sexy, it's not flashy. They play complimentary football, and they don't beat themselves. They let you beat yourself. Now, Ohio State's done a really good job of not putting the ball in harm's way lately, and when you add that with the type of talent they have, they're really tough to beat. So, no disrespect to Notre Dame, but you have to hope that Ohio State finds a way to kind of screw this up, or you mess with Jeremiah Smith's food at the pregame meal. Those are really the only two ways.
Well, and Jeremiah Smith, we know, wasn't a factor in the previous win for Ohio State. That was one of the stunners a little bit against Texas. He didn't make huge impact plays. You would think they would try to get him loose early tonight and get him in the flow, but they've got him, they've got Ibuka. And then we talked to Jerry Glanville here at 97.7 The Zone. Steve Moulton has a very good relationship with Coach, and he talked about what he watches. Still watches a ton of NFL. He watches college football. He loves Notre Dame's corners, though. He loves the way Freeman's secondary plays.
Yeah, and I mean that's been a staple for him all year, and Coach Glanville really knows what he's talking about. But I want to go back to your first point. I think Jeremiah Smith did have an impact. He kept Texas in a too high look and umbrella coverage the whole game.
Gotcha.
Now the difference was Texas was good enough in the front seven to be able to play with an even box or even a light box at some moments and hold up against the run once they made adjustments after that first drive. Because that first drive, Ohio State just ran it down their throat. They made some adjustments, still kept that even box, and they were able to get away with it. Well, why was Notre Dame able to play umbrella at too high coverage? Texas. Because they play a lot of zone coverage. Notre Dame don't play a lot of zone coverage. They're an 80% man coverage team. So if you're going to be – and Al Golden said, look, they're going to be who they are, and I respect it. But if you're going to sit here and play man-free against these cats that Ohio State has, including the backside of the backfield – your pass rush better get there. And I just wonder with the Mills injury on the defensive line, if they're going to be able to stop the run, even if they do play with an even box and try and play with too high and spin down to man free or be able to mix it up with man coverage or bring those fire zones or things like that. Or are you going to have to manufacture pressure? And if you're going to manufacture pressure, you really can't double anybody outside of the safety that's high in the sky. And then on the other side, Notre Dame's got offensive tackle problems. This is not the game to have that. You got Jack Sawyer and then JT on each edge. You got Malik the Freak Williams in the middle. This is not a game to be unsure at tackle. I got a lot of respect for Notre Dame. I think Marcus Freeman's done a really, really good job. But it's a very, very narrow path to victory. And I think Ohio State and Chip Kelly, they're just playing too clean right now.
When you watch the offense now from Ohio State and you see Chip Kelly and you see what he's done, does it make you scratch your head even more to say what happened in that Michigan game? Because it seems like they're opening up. He's being creative. He's doing what this offense should be doing. And it just makes me scratch my head to say, what happened in that Michigan game?
Well, I know what happened. I just can't believe that it did happen. Just because of the maturity level and the experience of Chip Kelly. That was an emotional game plan against Michigan. That was not a game plan where you sat down and said, all right, what do they do best? What do we do best? Where can we exploit them? Because it was all over the field where you could have exploited them. That's not what they did. What they did was they got in the room and said, you know what, guys? We've lost to Michigan too much lately, and they physically pushed us around. So we got to go. We have to have a game plan that just physically dominates them instead of playing to your strengths. And that is an immature and emotional decision, and it's not the place you put the players in. And you know what? At the end of the day, could it be the best thing that could have happened to them? Yes, in a way, because embarrassment's a great tackle and fuel. But if you go in there with your normal game plan, you spread it around, you don't try and prove a point, you beat them, and you probably play this way in the playoffs. So then it would be pretty much a perfect season outside of the time you had to play against 12 players against Oregon. So I know what happened. I'm just shocked that it did happen. It's kind of like, when you're in high school in like 9th grade and, you like an 11th grade girl and you're like, all right, I've got to go talk to her. But instead of just being yourself and playing it cool, you try and turn it into a Hallmark movie and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I got you. No, I totally agree. But now we look at it, as you said, you're kind of settling in with 27-17 Ohio State. What would this mean for Ryan Day? I think much like, we saw Jim Tressel win one, and then, of course, Urban Meyer, both of them had, some things happen off the field that ended their tenures before they needed to happen. But for Ryan Day, I think all the criticism goes away if he wins this game. But if he loses it, you're kind of right back to square one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, if he wins it, maybe he'll stop using that just for men for his beard. I mean, we can all tell it's fake. Just let it happen.
It does get darker every game.
I'm like, goodness, how is your beard darker than the hair on your head? It just makes no sense. Look, you bring up Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel. Even like Urban Meyer, there were some things about Urban Meyer that wasn't likable, but he embraced it though.
Yeah, he embraced being the villain. Yeah,
look at him on Big Noon. I mean, he's wearing the villain glasses, like looks like he's trying to kill James Bond somehow. But Ryan Day tries to act like he's not. Ryan Day tries to act like he's super likable. It's got a lot of Bo Callahan in him. That's why I think it's tough for him to corner the market on likability. But what's the one way to do it? If you're Ryan Day or you're Brian Kelly, you win a national championship. If I'm Ryan Day and I win a national championship in this Ohio State game, I'm doing one of two things. One, give me a lifetime contract. Lifetime contract. They're not going to do that. The second thing is I'm off to the NFL. See you later. Because it's not going to get better than this, dog, and you still haven't beat Michigan. So, you got to go to Michigan next year. They're paying $12 million for the Wonder Kid to come in there and fix it. It just, I don't know. I feel like, that the old saying, strike while the iron's hot. If Ohio State wins this one, now, if they lose it, oh, man. If they lose it, I think it all goes away. What does Morpheus tell Neo? You take the blue pill, and it just all goes away. He's going to wake up in his office with everybody pissed at him again.
Does if Ryan Day wins tonight, does he say anything to Lou Holtz in the postgame?
Oh, man.
Well, look, Jake Paul made beating up old people cool again. So I don't know. I don't put anything past them. It's the weirdest beef ever.
It is.
The weirdest. It's just, and now Lou's like 100 years old. It's like, look, I got nothing to lose. Put him in the ring. I'll fight him. I don't know, man. It's just the absolute weirdest beef of all time.
It really is. But I got to say this though. It's fun to be an Auburn basketball fan right now. I mean, what a great basketball team they've got. Number one in the country.
Now, until we lose the Libertarian Party in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
Nah, I mean, I think this is a special group. I don't know if they're going to win the national championship, but I think they're gonna make a run. But they're playing outstanding.
I'm trying to reverse jinx it. I
got you.
Drew. We need
we
need this week off.
Yes.
To get Janai healthy. Get Tennessee
agreed.
in here. Just get that number one seed. But I'll just know we'll play like Texas A&M, Corpus Christi in the first round and murder them. But they'll give us somebody great in the second. We'll end up playing. They're like, oh, the Denver Nuggets, or y'all are playing them in the second round. Sorry, guys.
Well, enjoy the call tonight. This basically a simulcast almost. It'll be the live stream for Crain and Company, as they will not have a regular show from their 2 to 3:30 time slot. They will have it covered from wall to wall, the national championship game. Again, congrats on fatherhood, brother. We're very happy for you and your family and your wife and your young daughter and Uncle Blaine. Looks like Uncle Blaine is settling in.
Yeah, he is. He's just my wife's family's full of Bama fans, so we've been subliminally messaging my daughter. We've just been showing her Cam Newton highlights and pretending it's this year.
There you go. Appreciate it, dude.
See you guys.
Thanks, Jake. All right. That's good. By the way, though, if you when you're watching the coin toss tonight for the national championship game, your honorary captains for each team. You want to know who they are for Ohio State and Notre Dame?
Go ahead. Hit me.
For Ohio State, it's cool.
Yeah.
Archie Griffin.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then for Notre Dame, Jerome Bettis.
Oh, his son's actually enrolled at Notre Dame now, going to be a football player. We're all old.
All right, let's get a break in. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Looks like they have canceled Hemsey on that wreck. Jordan Lane near Commercial. That one reported as an injury type. Still working one on 72, though, at Moontown as an injury type accident. Traffic load seems to be much lighter than normal. You be careful, though, on that trip in. With more than 30 years experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including the college football playoff and national championship game. The electricity, the atmosphere. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the college football playoff national championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison. Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
But that trick never worked.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We do have several people from North Alabama that will be making a venture over to Atlanta tonight to watch the College Football National Championship game in person. I know there'll be a few people going over there.
Yeah.
Now, if you do go over there, you ready for this? Because
Right.
we like food, right?
We do.
Stumbled upon this. And they only have 200 of these available for $40 each. Okay? They're $40 each. Would you spend the money on this? Molly B's Barbecue. Okay? You get house smoked brisket, quarter of a chicken, and beef ribs with cornbread, baked beans, apple kale slaw, peach cobbler, and 2 barbecue sauces. You can have the Irish barbecue sauce or a cola barbecue sauce.
Go with cola, not Irish.
Okay. But that's only $40.
$40?
$40. Here's a picture of it for you. There's a picture of it. Would you spend $40 on that tonight if you were going to Atlanta?
Hell no, I ain't spending $40 on it. Maybe if they gave it to me as a medium meal, I'd eat it. I'm not paying $40.
You wouldn't spend $40 on that.
I'd spend maybe $20, but you'd have to substitute the beans.
You're going to substitute the beans.
I don't need no dang beans.
That's how it comes. You can't substitute the beans.
Well, I want to substitute the beans. Give me some fried apples or something, man.
Double on the kale slaw?
No, we don't need kale slaw either. Give me some onion rings.
You can't. That's not the option.
Well, then it's mine. That's how I'd pay for it. I'm not paying $40 for that.
You can, though, tonight get $2 sodas.
Yeah, that's
$2
good.
pretzels.
Nice.
$2 popcorn.
Right.
$3 hot dogs. $3 French fries. $5 draft beers and $5 cheeseburgers.
Why are the cheeseburgers all of a sudden $5 if the hot dogs are $3?
There's always hot dogs are always cheaper than a cheeseburger.
I don't know. Okay.
Anyway, that's for tonight. National championship.
Go
game.
Bucks.
Yeah, you know what my whole plan was tonight?
What?
I was going to sit at my house.
Yeah, and watch the game.
And I was going to. My wife was going to make a beautiful dinner, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We were going to sit there and watch the game tonight. That was my whole
I love
plan.
that. My wife was going to make a beautiful dinner, maybe.
She's a hell of a cook. She was going to make a meal. That was the whole plan.
Right.
And then about
those plans changed about 15 minutes ago.
13 and a half minutes
Well,
ago.
close.
Tokyo texted me.
Yeah, a.k.a. Molton.
And said, "What are you doing tonight?"
Yeah.
Thinking, you know what? I'm going to have a championship game tailgate party and everybody's coming over.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Spring Garden's finest is on the line.
We are now going to do the game tonight.
Yep.
Huntsville and Oxford. We're going to preview all of that coming up here at the bottom of the hour.
With Chris Williams of the 7 group.
Yep. There's a big day over at Alabama A&M, and so we are going to actually broadcast the Huntsville-Oxford game for you this evening.
Joel Van Meter's group, led by Jalen Alexander.
God, I haven't talked to Joel Van Meter since he's been in the Classic.
Yeah, he wasn't
so
in the Classic this year.
I'm glad.
I did catch up with him at Auburn this summer. He's a great guy, great coach.
But Talk Radio, WZZN, that's where we will have the game for you this evening, okay? So make sure you listen to that. That's Huntsville and Oxford tonight, 7 o'clock.
Right.
That is a programming note. I guess, I don't know when they decided to do it, but that's when we're doing it. We're doing it tonight. 7 o'clock. So there you go.
There we go.
256-576-4977. By the way, Freddie Kirby sent me a text.
What'd he say?
He said Drew could use some of that Just for Men on his non-shaved stubble. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but I just did.
Well, it is gray. We know that. I'll shave later. Not really worried about it. I'll shave for the area tournament, okay?
It's just like a hockey thing?
Or something like that. Just let it go for a while, then shave it off.
Okay, let's go on to
Freddie's almost like my mom's agent. Like, shave it off, shave it off.
Shave it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon is with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, guys.
What's up, man?
If you're going to that game tonight, stop by 300 Marietta Street, Twin Smokers. You can get 2 meats, 2 sides, a drink, and a dessert, I think, for $27. So, and it's all of a couple hundred yards away from the dome.
See,
Good
here's
stuff.
the thing. I mean, tonight, so we walked in Indianapolis that year, and we walked a couple blocks, and it was cold. Though I can't imagine people walking very far tonight in Atlanta, because the parking is kind of iffy around there. I mean, there's that lot there now in between the Congress Center and all that, but you've got to walk a little ways to get to the Dome if you park. It's going to be cold if you walk there tonight.
Oh, it's going to be cold. When we were in Indianapolis that time, I was looking for that Elsa girl and the big carrot-nosed snowman that sings. When we left out of that Hardee's walking 200 yards, and I didn't think we were going to make it.
Yeah.
When we walked out of the Slippery Noodle, and it was only 2 blocks away from Lucas Oil.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And then we had to go to the car. Remember that? We had to walk to the car for some reason.
We had to get something out of the car. I was trying to do a radio interview, and my hands were frozen, and I had to tell them to call back.
We had to put the equipment back in the car because
Oh
we did the
my
live remote
God.
of the Noodle, and we had to put the equipment in the car.
And I was frozen.
That was
I mean, it was hurting. I'm just telling you, it was the worst cold I've ever been through. Jeez.
Well, speaking of cold, those Spring Garden girls lined up against Sandrock Saturday night for the Cherokee County tournament.
And it was a massacre.
Sandrock, from my understanding, is the third-ranked team in the state in girls 2A.
Yeah, they're good. They're usually very good.
The 51-point splattering. And after the game was over, Lisa Bates, the coach for Sandrock, goes up to all of the Spring Garden seniors, thanks them all, and says, I will be glad to know I will never, ever have to see any of you again.
Yeah,
I have never been so glad to see people graduate.
Yep, they're a machine. It's going to be a fascinating matchup tomorrow. Stay away precipitation. We don't mind the cold. There'll be a lot of people in the gym.
But it's going to be a show.
Yep.
I was so looking forward to it. But when I got there, I did not know that Sandrock was the third-ranked team girls in the state. And it was close for like 5 minutes after a couple turnovers. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I look at my wife and I said, they're fixing to win by 50. And the guy looks at me and says, that's the third-ranked 2A team in the state. And I said, you're joking.
There you go.
And he said, no. He said, look at their win-loss record. He said, they win a lot of games heavily. And I was watching the opposing coach, and she was just over there having a meltdown. You could tell she was not happy. But their boys are still undefeated.
Yeah.
Win a game all the way down to the last shot. They fouled a guy shooting a 3, and he had to hit 3 to tie, and he only got 2 of them with 0.4 seconds left. It was a nail-biter. And those you got to see these striped barbershop pants that they come out in from the 80s.
Oh, yeah, looking like Indiana. Yeah.
I said, I need some of these that are like, I said, I'm not sure how tall Scott Tyson is, like a 54 length, something like that.
Yeah.
I said, they don't have to be big around. I said, they can be like, 14-inch diameter. I said, I need like a 54 length. I said, so that Scott can come out wearing some of those Tuesday night. And they said, we probably could sew 2 pair together if we had to. So I said, let's see what they could do.
To wear those during the game, broadcasting the game in those tomorrow night?
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, Brandon, before you go, you're going to be one of the presenting sponsors, so talk about your business.
Well, at Pilcher Real Estate Appraisals, we value 1 to 4 unit rental properties, your personal home, vacant land, and we also buy properties. So if you've got a property that you've inherited that you want to sell but you don't want to list it on the market and you'd like somebody to come make you an offer, we can do that. If you've inherited property and you need to split it up between you and your heirs, if you're getting a divorce and you and your wife want to kind of quietly figure out what you think your property is, give me a call. I'm licensed in Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee, and I can usually see you within a week's turnaround time.
Yes,
so
sir.
Give us a call today, 706-936-3766. Call or text.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right, thanks, Brandon. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, we will indeed talk high school basketball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Plenty of sunshine expected for this Monday. High temperatures only going to rise into the mid and upper 20s for the afternoon. Heading into our Monday night, a little bit of snow flurries could be a possibility. No accumulation expected. Low temperatures going to be falling into the lower teens for the overnight, and it looks like we'll continue to sit under a partly cloudy sky. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
They are showing that wreck on Jordan at Commercial as being clear now. They reported it as an injury type, but they canceled him. He had 72 in Moontown working as an injury type, and one on I-65 southbound right about the Tennessee River Bridge. No injury there. And we got one 565 eastbound to the Parkway southbound. That one's right at the end of the ramp. Looks like it's out of the traffic lanes. Shoals Scholar Dollars Legends in Concert Series is bringing Grammy Award winner Pam Tillis to UNA this weekend on Sunday. Tickets at shoalscholardollars.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
.36 on a Monday morning. Talking ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, DeArmond. And usually, if you were talking about MLK Day, there were, 2, 3 years, maybe 4 years over at UAH. We had the Marvin Stone Classic.
Yeah.
And that brought several teams to Spraggins Hall. They'd start it at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we would go all day long. We'd have high school basketball all day long. Well, over the last couple years, that has kind of changed venues, and it's changed, it's changed promoters, it's just changed different things. Well, now what we have is we have the Rocket City Bragging Rights. Mm-hmm. And this year, with a help from the Huntsville Sports Commission and Mark Russell and his gang, we've kind of moved that to a bigger venue. Nice venue. Was in there already once this year for an Alabama A&M game, and they just got done having over 6,000 there this weekend for Alabama A&M and Alabama State. But we've got high school basketball today starting at 1 o'clock, and the final game will wrap up at 7. So you've got 5 games today: 1, 2:30, 4, 5:30, and 7.
Yeah, and in the recent past, weather has affected this event, and it did a year ago for sure. But our next guest is one of the best basketball minds, and of course, he does a great job organizing not just events on the college level, but also, as Scott just mentioned, the high school level. And he is kind of the man behind the curtain for this Bragging Rights event that started really back in 2019 when we featured him live in studio at our old location. He does an outstanding job promoting the game of basketball. No question about that. He founded the 7 Group, when you can find them at the 7 Group, that's Roman numerals, V, and then, of course, the 2 I's, and 7group.net. He does an outstanding job. If you see the Auburn Tigers playing in Atlanta, which Bruce Pearl's team has done several times over the last few years, he's the man behind the curtain there as well. And we're talking about Coach Chris Williams, and he's with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and he has helped put this 5-game event together. 3 big-time schools coming from his state of Georgia. He's based out of Atlanta, but he will be here today, and we always enjoy having him in our city and for what he does for high school and college basketball. Coach, how are you doing this morning with Drew and Scott?
I'm all right. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well, man. And talk about this year's event. This is a different venue. It's a beautiful venue. I know you've been over there to Alabama A&M's new event center. It's an outstanding place to watch a game. I've been in it a few times. This will be my first time getting to watch games there. They had a huge crowd and a sellout for the rivalry with Alabama State this weekend, but a great event to showcase high school basketball today, and you've done an outstanding job kind of helping put this together.
Yeah. Great venue. I was there for the game Saturday. Amazing crowd. I actually went to A&M myself. So happy to take the event there this year and even moving forward.
Yeah. So how did this come to be to put this game there at the Alabama A&M Event Center on the campus of Alabama A&M? Great venue, but how did it all work out to move it there?
Well, in the past, it's been at Huntsville High, but Coach Schwier's, Christian, and I talked and just came up with the idea of moving it there with the vision to grow it and make it bigger and bigger every year. So we just felt like that venue would be the vision of where we wanted to go and hold the magnitude of the event as it continues to grow.
And the cool part is you've got some local teams like Hazel Green will take on Berkmar. That'll be the first game, Berkmar out of Georgia. That will be at 1 p.m. The Ramsey Rams and Denton Johnson, they're the number 1 team in 5A. They're coming to play a red-hot Meadow Creek team at 2:30. And then you'll have May Jemison, Pete Miller. His team's been playing really well lately. May Jemison got a big win over Grissom. And then they're going to take on Best Academy. That'll be game 3 at 4. This game was added in the last few days. Austin will take on East Limestone. Jake Moran's done a great job building the East Limestone program. Austin is playing outstanding basketball under Desmond Phillips. And then, of course, the last game of the showcase will be those Huntsville Crimson Panthers, number 3 in 7A against the Oxford Yellow Jackets and Joel Van Meter. Jalen Alexander, outstanding point guard. We're looking forward to that. But I know you do a great job of hand-picking these teams out of Georgia. First of all, just tell us about this Berkmar matchup with Hazel Green. Hazel Green, a young team, a good team under our good friend Jeremy Crutcher. But talk about Berkmar and what they're bringing to the table this afternoon, Coach.
They're in a transition year. Coach left. They got a new coach there, Coach Witherspoon. He actually played there. Him and his brother. His brother played at Memphis, and they took over the reins there. Mm-hmm. So he's starting off the season solid, 5-4 in the region, 8-10 overall. but have a nice group of guys, young team that should be pretty good this year. Got some good wins, but some tough losses as well. But the record doesn't say prove or show how good they really are. So they should be pretty excited to be playing a Hazel Green team. It's a good matchup, I believe, across the board for that one.
When you look at this field and you started planning, what kind of vision did you have for this field?
Well, actually, the field changed because initially that game that occurred Saturday, the Alabama A&M versus State game, was supposed to be in Montgomery. But we had to change the field because we had to move to Monday. But we had to change it because Georgia GHSA teams couldn't travel. Not that many GHSA teams could travel with region play on Tuesday. So the teams you'll see play today will literally go back to Atlanta and have a game tomorrow, their region game. So.
Yeah, I know. Christian had kept me kind of up to date on how you guys had to continue to work together and change the field, but it shows how much work you guys put in to continue to do a quality event like this. Mae Jemison is extremely talented under first-year coach Pete Miller, a great friend, but they're taking on Best Academy. Kind of talk about that matchup. That will be, again, your 4 o'clock game. Tell us a little bit about Best Academy and what they're bringing to the Rocket City.
They're actually pretty good. They're doing well in their region. They're 8-1. They have a big fella, Enzo, that's going to be really good, about 6'8". So they should be pretty good as well across the board. They seen each other play at Holiday Hoopsgiving, my Thanksgiving event in Atlanta, but they didn't play against one another. But they did get a chance to watch each other. They have a great overall record at 12-5 right now in the state.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, I'm glad you brought that up. Huntsville High has been to Holiday Hoopsgiving. I believe Pete Miller and Mae Jemison were there this year. You do that each and every year in the city of Atlanta. It's a very, very, very well run event. There's a lot of great players and great teams that take part in that. And I know that's an annual event for the 7 group as well. And then this is a game I'm really looking forward to because the Ramsey Rams are playing outstanding. They're undefeated in their area right now. They're one of on the short list of favorites. Denton Johnson looking for his first state championship, coming back to his home base of North Alabama. He's a Scottsboro High grad. But I've been hearing a lot about this Meadow Creek team, Coach. I know they're red hot right now and coming in playing great ball.
They are. They coming off a tough loss Friday against Norcross, but they beat them a couple weeks ago in overtime, which is a huge win for them.
Yeah.
And they're doing really good this year as well. Nice young group. Just a couple of seniors sitting at 14-5 in the 7A and third in their region. So they're doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to that game as well because Coach Terry coached those guys pretty hard and well overall.
Yeah, it really does. And, again, we're looking forward to seeing the Austin Black Bears. They're playing outstanding ball right now. They've come out of the Huntsville City Classic red hot. I saw East Limestone earlier this year over at the N2 Hoops. They played Huntsville a tough game in round 1 of that tournament. Jake Moran's done a good job in 5A of rebuilding that program. And as we said, we've got Huntsville and Oxford that will be the matchup at 7 o'clock to wrap it up. It's a 5-game showcase that you guys have put together. Coach, talk about how people can attend and of course, the tickets and everything like that.
Tickets are on sale on GoFan right now. You can get tickets at the door where we have all the QR codes. Some people already obviously pre-purchased tickets, and then I know
right.
all our schools and teams have been promoting on their end. So it should be a nice crowd in there today, and we're all looking forward to it. Like I said, the vision that Christian and I have is to continue to grow this event, make it larger and larger every year, an annual event. Like you said, last year, the weather really got to us and almost got to us again this year.
Yeah, we've all been kind of grinding our teeth, Coach. We're all like, please.
As long as you let them have the heat on in there, I think everyone will be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it will be nice and toasty in the arena.
Well, and talk about the stuff that your 7 group does overall. We just talked about the Hoopsgiving event. We've talked about this bragging rights event, but also talk about for these listeners about what you do in college basketball, because you've done some great things and with those showcases, and I know having Auburn come to Atlanta.
Yeah, so the last 2 years I've been blessed to have been in a list of top 100 most powerful people in college basketball. Holiday Hoopsgiving College Edition this past year was year 5, and it's grown to be one of the most known college basketball neutral showcases in the country. We had a great field this year with Auburn versus Ohio State, Florida versus Arizona State, Georgia versus Grand Canyon, and it's just getting bigger and bigger every year. This year in State Farm, we had about 13,000, a little bit over 13,000. BP and I, or Coach Bruce and I, have a great relationship. He plays in it every year since year one. Already working on the field for this 25-26 season, and it's just growing, to be honest. We do foreign tours. We do holiday hoops in high school. We do bragging rights. And we're actually growing the portfolio next year. And we'll have a surprise for you guys in the next couple of months. So.
Sounds good. Well, you've done a great job growing this bragging rights event. We're just looking forward to this afternoon. Again, it's at the Event Center at Alabama A&M, Hazel Green and Berkmar. We'll get you started at 1 o'clock. Ramsey and Meadow Creek, what a matchup, 2:30. 4 o'clock, May Jemison and Best Academy. Austin East Limestone at 5:30, and then Huntsville and Oxford. We appreciate all your hard work. We're glad you're back in your home base, where of course you attended Alabama A&M. But if there's something going on in high school and college basketball in Atlanta, Chris Williams is going to be involved with the 7 group. Thank you for your time, sir, and we look forward to seeing you later today.
Of course. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Let's get that final break in. Your tomorrow's headlines. We'll wrap this one up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They are showing that wreck on Jordan at Commercial as being clear now. They reported it as an injury type, but they canceled him. He had 72 in Moontown working as an injury type, and one on I-65 southbound right about the Tennessee River Bridge. No injury there. And we got one 565 eastbound to the Parkway southbound. That one's right at the end of the ramp. Looks like it's out of the traffic lanes. Shoal Scholar Dollars Legends in Concert Series is bringing Grammy Award winner Pam Tillis to UNA this weekend on Sunday. Tickets at shoalscholardollars.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, it's cold tonight. And
I think the high is 27.
It's going to be cold in Atlanta for the national championship game. And they're going to talk a lot about it, I guess, in the pregame and everything. And they're going to be thankful they're in the Dome, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and all that other stuff. But let's go back in our time machine. And we talked a lot about it when we were in Indianapolis for the national championship game, how cold it was. Do you remember how cold it was in Atlanta on January 30th of 2000 when Atlanta hosted the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Titans?
Oh, yeah.
It was 34 degrees colder than the normal temperature. I think it got down to, I think the temperatures dipped to around 30 degrees, maybe 34 degrees for that game. And they were making a huge deal about it because there was an ice storm, or there was ice causing delays in 2000 for the Rams and the Titans for the Super Bowl. And so Atlanta, for big games, you might say, well, this is a first. No, it's not a first. It's happened for big games in Atlanta. It happened in 2000 for the Super Bowl. I remember that. So
Yeah, and that was a great Super Bowl, by the way.
it was. Does tonight's game live up to that?
I hope
Because
not.
you go back. Alabama, Georgia, last time they had a national championship game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, in that same stadium, it went to overtime.
I won't
Super
be
Bowl,
watching.
a yard away from.
I'll be doing high school basketball. I'm not watching it, so I'll keep up with it on the phone there. So we'll see how it's going. And if Notre Dame
You
wins,
give up the national title game for high school
I
basketball.
don't know. Of course I will. Every damn time. If Alabama's not playing any, piss on them. You know what I'm saying? We don't have an SEC team. I'm not going to give a rat's you know what. So, we're going to talk more high school basketball tomorrow because you and Steve are doing an outstanding matchup. Let's go.
I'm really so.
Hazel Green and Spring Garden.
We got UAH basketball this week.
You do.
And
You got a road
they're
trip.
taking on nationally ranked Valdosta State.
Yeah.
It's
That game is what? It's Thursday?
Yeah, and that is that's outside of the Nova game, the 1st game of the year. This is their biggest game by far.
Right.
Of
This
the
is
season.
huge. Huge.
Valdosta probably 15th. They'll probably be 15th in the country.
Yeah, and UAH is
number 5.
5, yeah.
I believe Valdosta hasn't lost since they played UAH, and so it sets up for a huge thing. I should be excited about it. But man, tomorrow night, I am just like
Wish I could clone myself.
So excited to go to Spring Garden and be a part of this atmosphere that we have heard so much about because we were there for the signing.
Oh yeah,
And
it was
that
awesome.
Signing atmosphere
was tremendous,
was unreal,
and the food was good.
Yes, and they told us that if you want even better atmosphere, you need to come to a game.
I know,
because the game is far better than what we saw for the signing.
I
day.
can't even imagine.
That's why I'm excited because I can't imagine it.
I can't imagine how many people with heaters and tents are going to be outside listening to y'all with speakers.
That is a true Hoosiers moment because
It
remember
really is.
they had those little fires going outside with people listening to the radio call and everything.
No doubt, man.
They just need the same barbecue that they had when we were there the first
I'm sure
time.
Brandon will take care of that. He'll probably buy it.
I don't know who did, but I just know that they had barbecue up there in their little room.
Yeah, it was good. Outstanding.
And they had the beans.
I didn't have any beans.
And the coleslaw.
I didn't.
And the dessert.
I had a little dessert, but I had a boatload of barbecue.
I had a boatload of barbecue.
The sauces were great.
Yeah, it was all good.
Yes.
But anyway, that's tomorrow night. And that'll be on Talk Radio WZZN. But we will also be able to, you'll be able to Tuesday night, you'll be able to go to our app. And you'll just be able to click the Spring Garden Hazel Green logo there, and we'll have it there to make it easier for you.
We heard it from our presenting sponsor, John Kendall, today.
Yes.
He's doing a great job. And then Brandon's also a sponsor, so we appreciate both those, especially John Kendall for taking the bull by the horns here. Hazel Green, we know what Tim Miller's done. We hope to have him on the show tomorrow. We hope to have Ricky Austin to continue to give ladies basketball this kind of matchup the pub that it deserves.
Yeah, you're going to have to get Tim Miller from the hotel.
Yeah.
Because they're on the road. They're in Gunnersville tonight, and so you're going to
no rest for the weary.
You're going to have to get Coach Miller from the hotel.
Oh yeah. Planning on it.
And you know Coach Austin will do it.
Oh, of course.
He's ecstatic to have us over there. That's going to do it for our 2 hours. Don't forget the College Football National Championship tonight. Either Notre Dame or Ohio State going to bring home the trophy.
Go Bucks.
Somebody has to bring it home.
Yeah.
They can't just leave it there. We'll recap all of the extravaganza tomorrow. If you want high school basketball, make your way to the Alabama A&M Event Center on the campus of Alabama A&M starting at 1, last game at 7. High school basketball indoors today.
Thank goodness. We
See
don't
you
need
tomorrow.
a winter classic.
Yeah.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes.